Let's talk about the most dangerous thing you can be at work. No, it's not incompetent. It's not even lazy. It's honest. But here's the twist. Your honesty isn't what you think it is. The real danger isn't just speaking the truth. It's what the system does with your truth. Stay tuned, because what happens next will change the way you see your role forever. You think being transparent, calling things as you see them, doing the right thing, you think that builds trust, earns you security. Here's the secret they never put in the employee handbook. Your honesty isn't a virtue to the system. It's a risk parameter. A blinking light on a control panel that says, "Monitor this one closely." Every time you say the quiet part out loud, every time you deliver bad news straight, every time you're the only one who won't sugarcoat it, the system isn't applauding your integrity. It's logging a data point. It's mapping you. It's asking one cold, calculated question. How much of a liability is this person's need for truth? Quick question. Hit pause for a second. The person at your job known for being brutally, uncompromisingly honest, what's their real long-term problem? A, they get handed all the tough jobs because they can handle the truth. B, everything they say gets recorded, analyzed, and filed as behavioral data. C, they're seen as too predictable, too rigid, and are quietly kept away from messy, strategic roles where lies are sometimes the glue. But what if I told you there's a hidden consequence to being this honest, and it's not in any of these answers? Drop your letter below. By the end of this, you'll see why the system's answer is colder than an HR rep's smile. We're taught a nice story. Honesty is the best policy. It's moral. It's simple. It's also a great way to get yourself strategically sidelined. The system doesn't run on morality. It runs on risk management, and your unfiltered truth is often classified as a management problem. Take a real story from a European financial regulator. An officer, let's call her Elena, was famous for her ethics. She found a shady deal backed by a powerful board member, and she reported it. She was right. She was also, from that day on, flagged in the talent system with a note. High propensity for principled conflict, lacks political elasticity. Do not assign to roles requiring diplomatic ambiguity. Her honesty didn't make her a hero in the system's ledger. It made her a destabilizing element. She was right, but she was also now a known variable that could blow up delicate, unofficial arrangements. They didn't fire her. Then they just made sure she'd never be in the room where those arrangements were made again. Your transparency doesn't buy you trust. It gives the system the blueprints to your mind. When you're always an open book, the system learns your patterns. It knows what pressure makes you snap, what principle makes you stand firm, what topic makes you spill everything. You're not being brave, you're giving them a complete psychological map. But here's the real kicker. What happens when your patterns become the system's most powerful tool to control you? Stay with me. So I have to be honest about this isn't a moral stance, it's a prediction. The system now knows exactly what you'll do. And in the game of power, predictable is the same as controllable. The worst part, honesty becomes a tag you can't remove. Get labeled the truth teller, and you lose the right to ever be quiet. Any moment you don't speak up is instantly suspicious. He's hiding something. Her principles are slipping. But there's a step the system takes after this that makes sure your truth can never be used against it. Let me explain how that works. You tried to eliminate doubt, but you just built a prison where any deviation from 100% transparency looks like 100% betrayal. If you've ever been punished for being the one who told the truth, type conscience in the comments. This isn't new. A Chinese strategist, Han Feizi, wrote about this 2,300 years ago. He said, "The real art isn't knowing the truth, but knowing the mind of the person you're telling it to." What to say is less important than what they want to hear. The modern corporate translation? The system doesn't want the truth. It wants the version of the truth that keeps things running smoothly. Your raw, unedited honesty is just noise. Dangerous noise. Imagine your company has a secret switchboard room, the information filtering hub. People aren't people. They're signal types. You walk in and your signal reads high fidelity truth, zero compression. The operator looks at you, nods, and flips a switch. Clunk. You get routed to the compliance and ethics channel. The line to the strategy and diplomacy channel? Disconnected. You'll get all the morally clear problems. You'll hear none of the strategically murky conversations. Your honesty didn't get you a promotion. It got you pigeonholed into a moral silo. We saw it in Silicon Valley. An engineer was the company's radical transparency champion. He aired all the dirty laundry on internal forums. He was the conscience. Then came the big funding round, the tough merger talks. Suddenly, he wasn't in the closed-door meetings. A founder told him kindly, "We need to present a unified front. Your kind of truth, it's not the truth we can afford right now." He was a mascot, not a player. His transparency was his ceiling. So back to that first question. What's the honest person's fate? If you picked A or B, you see the surface level cost. More work, more scrutiny. If you picked C, you get it. Absolute honesty makes you a known quantity. And in high-stakes games, the known quantities are the pieces you leave on the bench. You're too easy to predict, too hard to deploy in the gray areas where real power is negotiated. This is the brutal deal. Your honesty doesn't make you indispensable. It makes you categorizable. And once categorized, you're easier to manage and easier to ignore when the game changes. Now, your brain is probably screaming for an escape hatch. Fine, if loyalty, competence, and honesty are all traps, I'll just be safe. I'll never make a wave, never take a risk. I'll be the most reliable, steady, error-free employee in the building. That's what they want, right? That's finally the smart play. Oh, you poor, optimistic soul. That isn't the escape hatch. That's the door to the professional freezer. But what if I told you that playing it safe is a career death sentence, and the only way out is to embrace the very thing you're avoiding? We'll dive into that next. Thinking that flawless safety is a strategy is like volunteering to be put in cryogenic storage. They'll preserve you perfectly and forget you exist. Our next video is the final trap in this series, why playing it safe is a career death sentence. We'll expose how your perfect reliability doesn't earn you security, it earns you obsolescence. The system thanks you for being safe by putting you on a shelf and moving all its energy to the people who are still capable of causing problems, and therefore creating value. From the signal isolation of honesty to the cryo-freeze of safety, this is how you go from being a valuable asset to being a museum piece in the company's storage room. The system allows you to be honest, not to empower you, but to see which labeled box it can most efficiently store you in. If you want to see how the quest for perfect safety turns you into a ghost in the corporate machine, hit subscribe. The final lesson isn't about winning. It's about understanding why trying not to lose is the surest way to disappear.